The Seahawks hiring Mike Macdonald makes me appreciate what Andy Reid's doing even more. I'll explain why here in a second, but before that, welcome on in. It is Ryan Hickey with you right here recording on this Wednesday evening. Appreciate you listening, whether it's on the Hick at Night podcast, night spelled N-I-T-E, or watching on the YouTube page. Channel is Ryan Hickey. Subscribe, download, comment, give me your thoughts on what I'm about to say here, but appreciate you taking the time to watch and or listen. So back to what I just said. Mike Macdonald's hire on Wednesday by the Seahawks. Actually, one of my first thoughts is, wow, what Andy Reid is doing is even more impressive than for me than I appreciated on Sunday when the Chiefs beat the Ravens to go to their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. Because not only is Reid right now just having the Chiefs humming, he is doing so as the oldest coach in the NFL. And this is a guy who is getting better as all his counterparts similar to his age are getting fired. Right, this offseason, we saw the 2 oldest head coaches in the NFL. Pete Carroll, look, it wasn't mutual, he was fired. Bill Belichick, same thing, was not mutual, he was fired. Both of those coaches, storied, successful, Super Bowl champion head coaches, are both kicked out of the door by their only franchise they've been the head coach for, at least recently, in the case of Carroll, because they have failed to adapt and failed to adjust to the modern NFL. And those teams, Patriots and the Seahawks, thought we got to get younger. We got to go to what is now the modern NFL. The modern NFL for the head coach is a young man's game. I mean, look who the Seahawks and Patriots chose to replace the 2 oldest coaches in the NFL with. Mike Macdonald for the Seahawks, who's right now the youngest coach in the NFL, and the Patriots own Jerod Mayo, who at 37 is one of the youngest coaches in the NFL. So the teams of the 2 oldest coaches just hired 2 of the youngest coaches in the league. Belichick, Carroll didn't adjust to the modern NFL. We're stuck in their ways, and I can't blame them, to be honest. When you win so much, if you're Bill, when you have so much success, whether it was at USC or with the Seahawks for an extended amount of time, doing things one way, look, I'm not going to lie, it is hard to change. It is hard to say, you know what, I've been doing this for one way for 20 years. It's worked. Why would I change now? I get it. But that also then, to me, makes me appreciate what Andy Reid is doing now that much more. He is the oldest coach in the NFL, yet he is keeping up in what is increasingly becoming a young and younger man's game. He's still got it. He's peaking right now. He is peaking right now at a time where the younger the head coach, the better. Right there, the young head coaches, McVay, Shanahan, offensively, defensively, what are they? Innovative, smart, outside the box thinkers. They are inclusive. They collaborate. A lot of buzzwords you hear right now from NFL teams all kind of center around a youth movement. Younger coaches, skewing younger. But yeah, you look at Andy Reid and he's flourishing right now. Flourishing. Why is that? Because this is a guy who understands that the old way or my way is not the highway. My way is whatever works. And I give Andy Reid so much credit because he has continued to adjust his scheme. He has continued to be creative. He has continued to include others. I know you can say, oh, well, Ryan, he's got Patrick Mahomes. Of course it's easy. You know how many coaches have had good quarterbacks and squandered them? Just quickly look in that division at the Chargers. Justin Herbert, really good young quarterback. Brandon Staley, even Kellen Moore, couldn't get much out of him, both fired. It's easy. It's not a guarantee or a given. You have a great quarterback. Oh, you're going to be a great team, and play calling is easy. It is definitely possible to screw it up. And Andy Reid is doing the opposite. I think he's enhancing what Patrick Mahomes is doing. Again, he keeps things fresh. Mahomes has been through struggles. This year, we saw receiver drops, offensive line concerns, even Travis Kelce regress. Yet Reid in the playoffs has had all those guys clicking. Mahomes deserves credit for sure, but I think it's also coaching to getting those guys in a position where they have the confidence. I mean, some of the players making plays here in the Bills game It's the offensive line finishing the deal in the fourth quarter and running out the clock. Against the Ravens, it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling catching a third down pass that ices the game to send the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Reid deserves credit for that because he has instilled confidence during a regular season that was easily the most turbulent Kansas City has had in the Mahomes era. But he's constantly evolving, constantly adjusting in a younger man's game. Even though he's the oldest coach in the league at 65, he's got a brain of a 35-year-old. I mean, I was just looking before I did the math. There are 9 coaches right now in the NFL that are 40 years old or younger. 9. Basically, roughly a third of the league is 40 and younger. It is a young man's game that's continuing to get younger. Yet as those whiz kids, as those geniuses, those boy wonders continue to innovate and get younger and throw new wrinkles in and constantly change how the game is played, there's Reid either right there with him or a step ahead. I mean, think about it. No one's really caught up to this Chiefs offense. It's been here for 6 years. Again, I get it. Mahomes is great. But we've seen Tyreek Hill, a top 3 receiver, should have been an MVP candidate, in my opinion, this past year, off the team 2 years ago. What happens the very next year? Win a Super Bowl. You took away one of the best players in the league, period. Still find a way to win a Super Bowl. That's great coaching. That's, again, being one step ahead. Reid is one of the most creative coaches. The Chiefs, every week, it feels like they have a brand new play out there that we've never seen before. I mean, he's out innovating guys like Sean McVay. And so there is an obvious appreciation for what Reid is doing, right? He is widely regarded already as one of the best head coaches in the NFL. He's been now to 5 career Super Bowls. He's one shy of Don Shula for second place. Maybe he'll catch Belichick, who's got 9. Long way to go still, but he's one away from Don Shula from tying for second as a head coach for most Super Bowl appearances if he gets to another after this year. He is a Hall of Fame head coach and is going to go down as one of the best head coaches ever. But Mike Macdonald, his hiring on Wednesday, I think also just opened my eyes to, wow, Pete Carroll was right there in terms of age, and Bill Belichick was right there in terms of age. And those two guys, for all the success they've had, those two guys never changed. Those two guys got stuck in their ways and were eventually, despite all their success, kicked out of the league by their current teams. And oh yeah, by the way, also not hired. No one's hiring Belichick. No one's hiring Carroll. Why? They're stuck in their ways and they have not adapted to the modern NFL. Well, those two guys are sticking to their guns. Here is Reid every single year, constantly adapting, constantly adjusting, and is keeping up with the 40-year-olds at 65 as the oldest head coach in the NFL. He should be a dinosaur. He should be out of the league. But yet he continues to adjust and he continues to excel. As the league gets younger, he gets better. 4 Super Bowls now in 5 years. I don't see an end in sight. If he keeps coaching, I don't see those Super Bowls drying up anytime soon. Andy Reid, for the Seahawks now going from the oldest head coach in the NFL to the youngest head coach. In a youth movement where owners want young, hotshot offensive geniuses to be their head coach, what Andy Reid is doing, just to me, continues to be more impressive. On the surface, the wins, the Super Bowl appearances, the rings, obviously make it worth it. But the age, too, has to be considered here. And the fact that he's doing what he's doing at his age makes, again, all to me, his accomplishments in recent years that much more impressive. So congratulations to you, Andy. Chiefs in the Super Bowl, 4th time in 5 years. I, though, will not be picking the Chiefs nor rooting for the Chiefs. Give it to the Niners all day. But, hey, look, we still got another week and a half to get to. We'll break that game down more as we get closer. But Andy Reid, nonetheless, win or lose, what you are doing is one of the most impressive feats a head coach has ever accomplished.